One of Rob Parker's. Am I wrong to call him one of your favorite quarterbacks?
He's one of my favorite clutch quarterbacks.
All right. Eli Manning retired today after 16 seasons. First of all, let's just go here.
I think Fridays they just announced. Fridays,
a source revealed that he's going to retire
on Friday.
But are you surprised? First of all, we'll get it. There's so much to unpack, but are you surprised?
Nah, not really. I think he probably feels like there's nothing left in the tank. I know he got to play another game or so before it was all over. Won one, lost one, so he stayed at 500. Probably families like, just get out, and maybe he doesn't want to be like all the other quarterbacks who wind up putting on another uniform and just decided that, I did my thing. I was a New York Giant. I forced my way there. I won 2 Super Bowls. He will forever be loved in New York, and he's good with that. I mean,
he's like Joe Namath.
When you win in New York and you win the championship, you are a made man forever. I mean, Joe Namath, all these years, won a Super Bowl in 1969, and he's still the talk of the town.
Right.
Even though most people never saw him play, and only know him probably from commercials and stuff, but he's a legend.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think what happened is that, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think Eli also beat the bushes or had his people beat the bushes and found out there wasn't that much of a market out there for him. I don't know where he was going to go and be the starter next season. Maybe people thought with Tom Coughlin, but when Coughlin got fired, then that took that option away. So I think that rather than go and have to fight for a position somewhere or sit on the bench somewhere else, he decided, you know what, let me call it quits. And he should. I think it's time, and he's had a great career. He's a definite Hall of Famer. I think he is. I'm not as strong on it as you are.
Either you are or you aren't.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that.
I do think there are people, though, that
either you are or you aren't.
Larry Walker is. Is he?
No, I didn't vote for him.
But he is in the Hall.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
So to some people you are, to some people you aren't.
No, but he's. But I have to identify him as a Hall of Famer. He's in.
Right.
I'm not saying
there are guys.
I'm not talking about that. I just mean from the standpoint either you're voting him in or you're not. You can't.
That's your philosophy,
right?
Which is fine.
But either you're voting him in or you're not. If I ask you if he's a Hall of Famer, you say, yeah, but I'm not that strong about it. So
right.
But still, your vote is that you would vote him in.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's
what I mean.
Yeah. I just don't.
You
feel
could
as
say
strongly
no
about it as you.
But you could just say no.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. But I would put him in because of the 2 Super Bowls. I do think personally a big part of it is he did it in New York. And I think everything done in New York is bigger. Whether it's bad, if it's bad in New York, it's worse.
I think that's not true.
Everything's magnified.
I just don't believe
Isaiah
in that.
Thomas, is he the worst GM in basketball history? No. But he struggled in New York.
He was pretty
so
bad.
So people look at it that way. Yeah, but his draft record was one of the best during his era. So he didn't do that great, but the worst ever, that's what some people say because it happened in New York.
No, but I think Eli, the reason that they're so big on Eli has more to do with he was the Tom Brady Patriot killer. He
really?
won, yes. And
Brady won 6 championships.
No. But he didn't beat Eli and the Giants, and they beat that 18-0 team. You could say whatever you want. That is one of the biggest upsets in the history of pro football, maybe pro sports. They were averaging 35 points a game, rolling over everybody. The 19-0 T-shirts were printed. They wound up in Ecuador somewhere, and everybody was convinced that there was a coronation for Brady and the Patriots, and Randy Moss had a gazillion touchdowns, and everything was just going to be there. Tom Brady gives them the lead with 2 minutes to go, and Eli Manning pulls out a miracle and beats them.
Well, David Tyree had a lot to do with that too.
That wasn't a touchdown,
catch.
But that wasn't.
No, but the helmet catch. If it wasn't for the helmet catch, there wouldn't have been a touchdown.
If it wasn't for Eli to avoid the sack,
right, great
and
job.
Step into it and make that throw to even get it up there, that was more impressive to me.
No, Eli, look, he had some great clutch moments. And that was one of the biggest upsets, certainly in NFL history, and you can argue in sports history, but that doesn't necessarily mean you belong in the Hall of Fame. But I'm with you. I'm gonna say he's a Hall of Famer. But there are guys that are definites. There'll be no doubt. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, and then there's guys that some feel is a Hall of Famer and some feel is not. And then some guys are like, I guess he's a Hall of Famer. And that's where I am on Eli. But again, I feel like had he done this in Tampa, had he done this in Minnesota, I'm not so sure his legend would be as big as it is. But he did do it in New York on the big stage. So we will give him that.
I think it's the big stage. He didn't win those games in New York. He won them at
but he
Super
played
Bowl.
for the Giants.
Yeah, but it's the Super Bowl. Everybody's
it's not
watching.
Everything magnified, Rob, in New York.
But I don't believe it's just that he played for the Giants. I'm saying
I'm
it was
saying
Super
just.
Bowls. He won Super Bowls where everybody in the country in NFL America is watching, and he was clutch. He has arguably two of the best throws in Super Bowl history. You could call it whatever you want, but he owns those. That Manningham throw up the sideline is also, people remember that. That was a clutch throw in a clutch situation. If I'm in a Super Bowl situation and I need a clutch play at the end of the game or whatever, I would take Eli Manning over Tom Brady any day. It wouldn't even be close.
What?
Eli Manning any day over Tom Brady. In a clutch moment, I would take
How many
Eli.
game-winning drives does Tom Brady have? When Tom Brady was at Michigan, not a great quarterback, but he was clutch at Michigan. They called him the comeback kid.
Did
and
they
his
win
first year as a rookie,
national
no,
championship
but he
at
won
Michigan?
6 Super Bowls in the NFL.
I don't remember that at Michigan.
And
I covered some of those
many
games.
of those Super Bowls, he had the game-winning drives. I don't care if it ends in a touchdown or if it ends in a rushing touchdown or if it ends in a field goal. He led the game-winning drives. How in the world? All their Super Bowls are close.
You know what I love about
3 points.
Eli is that
10 points was the biggest.
Is that Eli, when you look at his highlight reel, Adam Vinatieri's not in it. He's not a co-star in the video. It's about Eli making the big plays. And Eli
Yet he
is
doesn't
as
have
clutch.
as many.
How
How many's he got? 2?
All I know is he beat
2?
Brady twice.
That's fine.
He beat Brady
We're going
twice.
to give you a Hall of Fame plaque for that.
Yep.
But we're not going to call you the most clutch quarterback or say you're more clutch,
He's more
than
clutch
Tom
than
Brady.
I don't remember.
Tom Brady was clutching all 6 of their Super Bowl
No, he
wins.
wasn't.
Yes,
he gave
was.
up the football against Philadelphia. He
also threw for 505 yards.
But with 3 minutes to go, he gave up the football.
So we're going
That's
to
not
neglect the
clutch.
first 50-some-odd minutes of the game because he dropped a pass or had a turnover?
2 of the other
late in the
Super
game?
Bowls that he won, Tom Brady threw a total of 1 touch. He has 2 Super Bowls off of 1 touchdown. That's what Tom Brady. I'm just saying.
And
so he ain't all that clutch. He also
how many game-winning drives?
He also threw a pick that should have cost him the game against Kansas City last year in the AFC
When I look in the box
Championship
score,
game.
I don't see a pick.
But you know what? Ford lined up off lines. An all-pro lineman
So when we look
lines
in
up
the
off.
official box score, is it a pick?
I said he threw a pick. It would have been a pick.
Did Aaron Rodgers fumble 3 times?
We're not talking about Aaron
Or
Rodgers.
did he just
talking
lost
about
one, right?
I'm talking about
Stop it.
Tom Brady.
The official box score has no
he
interception.
threw a pick and he got lucky because
Whatever
the
the
guy lined
case,
up.
it
He's
wasn't.
been lucky
It was
his
no
whole
pick.
career.
Stop it. This is ridiculous. This is
Lucky.
ridiculous. Eli Manning more clutch than Tom Brady. I mean, come on.
It ain't even close.
You're right about that. That's the one thing you're right about. That's the one right thing you said this
No,
segment.
Tom can't, because Eli beat him twice.
Rob G, how many game-winning drives?
If he's the GOAT, how could Eli not be the GOAT? If Brady's the GOAT, he beat
In
Brady
those
twice.
games, Rob, Tom Brady led go-ahead drives. And then, to his credit, Manning came back with game-winning drives.
That's called clutch.
Right.
That's called
but
clutch.
that's not Brady's fault. Brady did his job. The defense didn't. You always talking about with other quarterbacks. I don't have to name them. Aaron Rodgers. When he didn't win, it was because the defense couldn't hold. And now here we go. The defense didn't hold for Tom Brady, and you're going to blame Brady for that?
In all the
Brady
years,
led the clutch drive.
In all the years,
didn't get the ball back.
Brady played in the playoffs. his defense gave up 40 points one time in that Super Bowl to Philadelphia.
I'm not talking about
That's
total
all.
points. I'm
just talking
talking about
that's the only
the
time.
game-winning drive.
I'm telling you that Eli,
When you've held him for most of the game, and then you can't hold him
two
at the end.
Super Bowls from Brady.
Okay,
he snatched
so that
two
means
of
he's
them.
better?
Yes, he's more clutch.
Stop
He
it.
was able to drive the ball down the field and win and beat the 18-0
And Brady hadn't
Patriots.
done that? Has Brady done that?
He did it
How
against
about
Tom
against
Brady's
Seattle?
team.
How about the comeback against Seattle in that Super Bowl? How about that what Brady did? How about coming back
Seattle
against
gave
Atlanta?
them that. Gave them that.
Oh, they gave
Atlanta
it.
gave
You know
them
what?
that.
Then I like your style, Rob. The Patriots gave Eli those marches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they gave it to him.
Okay.
They gave it to him. They put the bubble gum on the top of David Tyree's helmet so he could make that catch. They gave it to him. Or better yet, they didn't show up. They didn't show up. They had averaged 30 points a game for the season. They only scored, 14 against the Giants? They didn't show up. That's why they lost. I can't give Eli the credit. The Giants, the Patriots just didn't show up. I mean, come on. Eli Manning versus Tom Brady? All right, Rob G just hands us some stats. I mean, we obviously not doing a career comparison.
No, I'll give you just to
give
talk
us the
about
gist of this. This is tiny. I
Eli
can't even
versus
read it.
Brady head-to-head in the Super Bowl.
What, Super Bowl?
No,
That's two games.
just in those two games.
Okay.
Eli completing 66% of his passes, 551, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Brady completing 63%, 542.
So Eli was
3
better, right?
touchdowns,
Oh,
1
I'm
pick.
sorry.
So they're almost identical. And then even if you look at their playoffs per game, because the totals, obviously Brady has a lot more of them.
Right.
But per game, other than yards, which Brady averages 278 versus 235 for Eli, they're pretty much identical across the board.
Thank you. It ain't no whitewash.
Yeah, but that one's got 6
ain't no-
Super Bowls and one's got 2.
But the
that
I'm
settles
just-
it.
I'm
but
giving you the information.
But the 2 are against Tom Brady.
Okay. Yay. Yippee. Wowsy. Wowsy.
Wowsy, woo.
I mean, that doesn't mean he's better than Tom Brady in the clutch. Brady's got 6 of them, Rob, and all of them, he had to lead game-winning drives, every single one. And they came back as well. He rallied in a few of them. Atlanta, Seattle. Come on, man.
All I know is Eli is undefeated in NFC Championship games and Super Bowls. Undefeated.
You know what I say to that?
Wowsy, woo, woo.
I mean, that's 2. He's 2-0. Yippee. Again, we'll give you a Hall of Fame
Anybody
plaque
can
for
win
that.
one, but when you win a second
Can
one, it's
anybody
about
win
you.
6?
It's about you.
Can anybody win 6?
Well,
There's
I'll tell
only
you.
one person on the planet Earth who's won 6.
And Tom Brady only really won 1 or 2 of those. All the rest were lucky and bounces and mistakes by the other team.
Of course.